Don't forget to check out our sponsor, The Health Blaze, at thehealthblaze.com. 100% all natural products from lotions, soaps, foot soaks, bath bombs, and much, much more. Use the promo code Goodfella1Boxing. Tell them your boy CJ Goodfella sent you, get 18% off. We out. All right, it's funny that nobody's talking about this. This is something that I didn't even think about. And, this weekend's UFC card with Jorge Masvidal losing to Usman, which people call the most boringest fighter in the UFC. I think they called him in the comment section last night. We talked a little bit about UFC. The Nigerian NyQuil. Well, the Nigerian NyQuil did 1.3 million buys at $85 if you didn't have ESPN Plus, and $65, I believe. Quote me if I'm wrong. Let me know in the comment section I'm wrong. If you have ESPN Plus, it's $65 a pop. So let's talk about it. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. And Wilder and Fury 1 did 325,000 buys. The second one did 800,000 buys. And they say Masvidal and Usman fight is tracking above $1.3 million towards $1.4 million buys. And that's more than Wilder and Fury done in 2 pay-per-views. That's more than they done versus Showtime, and that's more than they done with Fox plus ESPN with the promotion and the marketing. And pretty much it's, UFC is starting to kind of make its move to dominance. A couple years ago, they was looking like they was probably going to be extinct. Al Heyman helped them get a fight in New York. They did some crossover fights. Lost McGregor for a minute. John Jones got lost to some ped issues. And, it was looking like on the scripts that are being done. And then, just as you know it, John Jones come back. They kind of had to fill the void of Ronda Rousey as well, too. And then McGregor and McGregor and Khabib do their thing, and single-handedly them and John Jones and a few other factors bring the UFC from basically the brink of extinction. And now, look where we at. They doing 1.3 million in a pandemic. PBC don't have a card until August. All right. ESPN, they couldn't even give away a free fight and they could do 1.3 million. Okay. And, the Zone don't have nothing on the table, other than Virgil Ortiz. And I don't think nobody even going to watch that fight casually wise. So you got to remember UFC was on Fox first for 7 or 8 years. And me and Lion Killer Life in Combat LC, Lion Killer LC was talking about this today. And he asked me, he was like, how much pay-per-view buys did Wilder Fury 1 and 2 do? And I was like, I think like 350. Well, it was actually 325 when I looked it up before I got on. And then I was like, the second one did like 800. And he said, you noticed that both of their cards failed to do what Usman and Masvidal did. And he basically I was a little ignorant to the UFC stardom. I watch it every now and again. And he said that you understand that Masvidal and Usman are not even the 2 biggest stars in the UFC. And they basically outsold the 2 biggest stars in the heavyweight division. And, at the end of the day, UFC is killing the game right now. People thought it was a facade. They've been around since early 90s. They thought it was a blip. And now it's trending to be a real good trend. And one of the reasons why the UFC is being top dogs because they cater to white fans. It's the reason why the mob wanted, some of the white fighters like Rocky Marciano and, you had other, great fighters, around that time. They wanted them to win because it was the appeal to the crowd. Okay? White casual fans spend money. Real money. Minorities, they spend money, but they don't spend money on sports. Okay? You look, and I use this example all the time. You look around the United States, you look at any major sport, baseball, basketball, football, hockey. What are the majority of the fans you see in the crowd outside of an Atlanta Hawks game, maybe a Falcons game? You see white people out there. You know what I'm saying? You see them. Why is baseball still relevant despite being behind the National Football League and the National Basketball Association? Because white people is going to always keep baseball alive. It's America's favorite pastime. As long as the majority of their athletes on a baseball field, they're going to continue to put money. Even if the TV networks are losing money due to the ratings, they're going to continue to put money into baseball. So when you don't have a white star in boxing, it's pretty much hard to get that appeal. Black people is not spending money to watch boxing. They spending money on Ferragamo belts, Gucci. They spend money on TVs. You know, they're not spending money on that. They vices, a lot of them, marijuana, Remy, you know what I'm saying? You know, just being God honest truth. You know, they might spend some money on some tennis shoes, some basketball shoes. Their kids play basketball. That's pretty much not about it. The majority of black fans is not really buying boxing, but there is a nice majority of black fans that will buy boxing, that will turn up and show out if you make the fights they want to see. The biggest fight in boxing is Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. But they failing to make that fight because they fall into the narrative that black fans won't watch it. Black fans will watch a fight if you build it up the correct way. Plenty of them purchase Mayweather and Oscar De La Hoya. And Mayweather fights, and if you introduce the world to Crawford and Errol Spence the correct way, that fight is going, it's going to do great numbers. It's going to do more than like $1.3 million buys if they do it right. But once again, boxing has failed in its tenure, throughout its tenure, for as long as it's been around, to cater towards black fans. They cater towards Mexican fans no matter what. If they're in the United States, if they're in Mexico, if they're in Thailand, if they're in Tahoe, wherever they're going to cater towards them. And that's just the narrative. Dana White is catering towards white people. He could let Mike Perry, this guy, go around and be racist and not address it. He could say, I'll support Trump and not face no backlash because the majority of his fan base is white. That's what it is. Nobody's going to call him out. Oh, why don't you defend Usman or Tyron Woodley or John Jones or whatever the situation may be. White fans can care less if he paid John Jones or not. They can care less. He got the main audience that's going to spend the money. He catering towards them. He got the abundance of white athletes to fight. Even if they get beat up 1,000 times, people going to pay to see Ronda Rousey. They're going to pay to see these guys. They don't care about a loss. A loss is a loss. They can come back, get in there, and do it again. Mayweather did not destroy UFC. Mayweather destroyed boxing and its narrative that you can't lose and come back and still be a great fighter. But it's a shame that ESPN and Fox together can't defeat the UFC. And it's not even one of their better cards. They doing the pandemic right. You know what I'm saying? Fight Island, whatever it is. But like I said before, this is just letting you know how, old school boxing really is. They haven't figured out how to unlock the keys to 21st century marketing and promotion. They got to understand you can't just cater to the Latinos. It ain't a prominent Puerto Rican fighter walking this earth right now that's a prize fighter. Not American, not a white person, not a black person, not enough prominent or important or abundance of white and black people can care less about Canelo and care less about Anthony Joshua. Pacquiao, when he got his ass whooped, he probably never touched 1 million pay-per-views again. You know what I'm saying? And what's the game missing is them marketing to everybody. They took everything and put it on premium TV. Now you got to bring it on free TV. You got to take less money so you can have Tuesday night fights, Friday night fights. You know what I'm saying? You got to take less. The fighters got to take less money to regrow the sport, but nobody willing to sacrifice. When people go out here and push this Black Lives Matter movement and black people ready to revolt, who really willing to sacrifice? No matter how bad it get, who really willing to sacrifice and put their balls on the line for their kids and for their community? Not too many. Too many people love $2 Tuesday, going to the titty bar, doing the same thing, smoking weed. Nobody want to, make the sacrifice. And in my opinion, that's the God honest truth. In boxing, nobody want to sacrifice, and basically say, you know what? For the better good of the sport, I'm going to take a step back. And all they doing is killing it and killing it and killing it. In UFC, they was on the brink of destruction. They made the adjustment. They got McGregor back. They got John Jones back. They made Conor McGregor Khabib. And it jump-started it. It's jump-started them. Now, boxing is on a deathbed right now. So what's going to jump-start boxing? They can be beyond this point. Had AJ and Wilder, showed that, let's show them that what the best fighting the best can do. Regardless what you want to think, Fury and Wilder wasn't the best fighting the best. Not at the top level. The top level in heavyweight was Wilder and Joshua. Had they fought and did a spectacle, in the United States and one in the UK, really in the United States twice, and maybe perhaps did a trilogy, then maybe other guys want to step up. But this is what you're getting. And this generation going to be remembered for the death of boxing. When boxing go back on Impact and Bounce and they barely get a TV deal, go back and remember all these punk fighters and especially Al Heyman. And Bob Arum first. You know what I'm saying? Bob Arum the one that didn't want to extend the olive branch leaf to Al Heyman. So Al Heyman's just doing to him, but people going to remember, it's always remember the black guy for doing it wrong. But, you know, Al Heyman paid guys to drop their belt. He advised guys to turn down world championship fights. You know, and boxing deserves this. It deserves this doomsday. You know, you got 30-year-old fighters that they don't have a marquee fight. I can name them. Charlos, Errol Spence, Keith Thurman, Terrence Crawford, Sean Porter, Danny Garcia. You got 30-year-old fighters who don't have a marquee fight. You ever heard too much of something that's a bad thing? Look at boxing. Too much money. And people in the fan base, it's become watered down. It's become stupider and stupider. You got fans that didn't even watch boxing 5 or 6, 7, 10 years ago. You got some fans that don't even know nothing about the sport. But social media gave these dudes a platform to talk. I see dudes all the time. It's objectivity in boxing is not sexy. You got to cater to one person. And people will follow you. People not ballsy enough to get an honest opinion and not be biased. You know what I'm saying? They're not ballsy enough. They feel that, and that's why I can't stand these boxing niggas. I ain't gonna lie to you. I can't stand none of them. Only people I'm watching that boxing main channel wise, not nothing to the smaller dudes. No offense to y'all dudes, but really, if you ain't got a good interview, you know, probably just town business. That's it. I don't listen to none of these dudes, man. These dudes don't know nothing about the sport. They not objective. They biased to who get them interviews. And they play a huge role in this, in destroying the sport too. They got personal beefs and, oh, this guy didn't give me an interview, or I hate this dude for not giving me an interview. A whole fighter tried to sue me, Crawford. If I wanted to, I could have revealed the paperwork, but for what? For what? Why? I don't hate the dude. You move on. You know, good fighter, can't take it away from him. Don't hate him. You know, but you can blame the media. The media, for real. The media created the new media. All them racist forums and racist articles they wrote that Top Rank and Golden Boy paid them to write these articles and stuff of that nature. You know, the old media and new media is terrible. The new media is the new old media, if that makes sense. And that's the God honest truth. Oh, we control the narrative. No, you create the narrative, and it still don't work. You did all this dick gobbling to Deontay Wilder. Oh, he was a 20 count in the first fight. It was a 50 count. Oh my God, it was 100 count. Pulling out their time watches and don't even understand the basic rules of boxing. The count is at the discretion of the referee. I've seen way worse counts than that. It's 1. He can ask, "Are you okay?" 2, hey man, hurry up. 3. He can go 4 minutes, 5, 7, 7, 4, 5. It's not 1, 2, 3. Have you ever played Fight Night? Where you get up on the knee and like 6, 7. You get on your knee and it go set, and you get up and then he say, "Okay, you okay? Fight." Never play Fight Night. When you're on your knee, you kind of about to get up. It don't go 7, 8, 9, 10. It's over. No. The count is at the discretion of the referee. So that busts your bubble right there. Then the second fight, well, I don't see no investigation. I don't see Deontay Wilder pressing charges, suing. All I see is Wilder still trying to pursue a trilogy. Money is more important than his integrity. If there is proof that Tyson Fury cheated. People talking about he got a dent on his hand. You see Keith Thurman had a hemotoe. Go look at Angulo versus Lara. He had a hemotoe on his eye, right? There wasn't nothing wrong with our Lara glove. Eric Morales fought Madonna at 40. He had a hemotoe, whatever you call it, on his eye. You hear him talking about Madonna gloves. They're making all these excuses, and what's coming out of it? Nothing. If Wilder values his money over integrity, he's not going to press charges. So all this controversy, all this bull job amount to what? together around 1.1, pay-per-view buys. 1.1.5 million. Let's say you want to say 1.2 is still 100,000 less than UFC, C-rated stars. Masvidal's got good star. I want to say A. So what? I blame all you sucker channels out here, man. Sucker. Don't know nothing about boxing. Don't educate. No objectivity. No realness. No trillness. And when I remember the first day I decided not to go strictly boxing talk, right? This may be before I got to 1,000 subs. My first video I did non-boxing talk on this channel was with Chris Paul and James Harden work with the Houston Rockets. And at that point, I knew at some point I was going to have to kiss the game goodbye to boxing. That boxing was going on a trajectory that I knew it wasn't going to be fruitful. So some people just took their channel and built it around boxing, which is the worst idea you can do. I did a one-stop shop, so at any given time, I can drop boxing if it's at a standstill, or if it gets stale, or if it just pick up and leave. Shit, I got an NBA fan base. I got a music entertainment fan base. You know what I'm saying? A little baseball, a little golf, MMA, college sports fan list. I'm versatile. I know what I'm talking about. It's a lot of dudes out there with a boxing platform that don't know nothing. They think they know the business, don't know the business. They think they know the numbers, don't know the numbers. Their interviews, good. They don't even ask the questions that you really want to hear. Like I said before, these new YouTube channels, the old media, the promoters, the advisors, the managers, the managerial companies, the Zone, HBO, ESPN, Top Rank, Premier Boxing Champions, Showtime, whatever you want to go, main events. You know what I'm saying? All these dudes, Al Heyman, y'all are single-handedly responsible for the destruction of boxing. Not me. I talk about it all. Small weight classes, if it get 1 view or 1 million views. I talk about the small, the tall. I'm objective. I keep it 100 from my perspective, so I don't feel no responsibility. I'm a last of a dying breed. It ain't too many people that's objective and love talking boxing. Not the money, not the personal beefs. People take shots all day. Who cares? I can say shit. I did my part. I educated and was educated for my subs. So if this boxing shit the fan, you got dudes talking about stripping, selling dope, fed time. I ain't got to talk about none of that. I just switched the hustle up the right way. So, like I said, you looking at the destruction of boxing unless something change. And from what I see, ain't nothing gonna change. The pay gonna go down. The fights, they still not gonna be able to make the fights you want to see. And what's sad about it, boxing got the horses, boxing got the thoroughbreds to be great. They can have, Hagler, Duran, Thomas Hearns, Ray Leonard type of, era. Rafael Benitez, Wade Robinson, Carmen Brasilio, Jake LaMotta, they can have that type of era. You know what I'm saying? The horses are there. They don't want to fight nobody. So UFC continues to kick boxing ass, and I don't think that's going to change for a long time. So let me know what you guys think. I mean, a lot of people are not going to like this video. I really don't care, because a lot of you dudes, y'all don't respect the real boxing journalists. Y'all don't respect the real vloggers. Y'all like that estrogen. Y'all like that emotional, non-talk boxing. And like I said before, man, my day is probably going to be number talking this shit on this channel. I don't want to kind of let the cat out of the bag, but as soon as this pandemic over with, I'm making some major changes. Love my few real boxing subs, but it just ain't worth it no more unless these dudes start fighting and doing what they need to do. I'll be damned if I interview some of these sucker ass dudes. For what? What you gonna break some news that you gonna fight somebody? Is Earl gonna grow a pair of nuts? Is AJ gonna grow a pair of nuts if Wilder wins? I'm just tired of it, bro. Is Tank gonna grow a pair of nuts and fight Lomachenko? If ain't none of that shit gonna happen in 1 year or in some time span, it really ain't matter. But let me know what you guys think. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Appreciate everybody for checking in. Don't forget you can find me on all the social media. The links in the description. Twitter's the fastest way to IG than Facebook. We got a Facebook group. Want to make a donation to the channel? Cash App, PayPal in the description. Best way to donate, man. Share the video for your boy. Best way to donate. But let me know what you guys think. One time for the one time. Y'all know what it is. We gone.